Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Raising Confident Girls. I am Melissa Jones, your host and the founder of Girls Positivity Club. And I'm so happy to be here with you today because we're going to talk about a topic that is very common at this time of year if you're listening in real time, and that is the holidays and managing holiday stress with your daughter. And this is something that is super relevant because, we want to support our girls during those busy seasons, and they can be busy for us and for them. And so we really want to model not perfect behavior, but we want to, as much as possible, especially with girls, teach them how to not overwork yourself during the holidays and how to get what you need, even when things are really busy and can be stressful at times. So, I'm thinking about a lot of people out there who celebrate all kinds of holidays. So when I say the holidays, I am talking about all of them. And, we're coming up, if you are in the United States, of Thanksgiving, because this is the time of year where we celebrate Thanksgiving. I know Canada's earlier, and then other countries have different holidays too. So whatever holiday season you're in, this is relevant to especially the holidays that come around December. So before we get too deep into the episode, I want to thank you for being here. And I also want to remind you that as we are coming up on the holidays, you'll hear me talk more about our giving campaign, which is the 1,000 Girl Project, Positivity Project, where we are wanting to get 1,000 girls into a Girls Positivity Club by the end of the year, or get them a scholarship to be in our programs, because we believe that raising confident girls will change the world and make it a more positive place. And I really especially believe in what we do because we equip girls with everything they need to have healthy friendships, to feel confident and good about who they are, to have a place where they feel seen and heard and understood, and they can have fun while doing that. So we do have girls, in the world who don't have the finances to join one of our clubs. And so I'll be talking about that more in detail in the middle of the episode. But until then, just wanted to give a little plug that we are coming up on Giving Tuesday, and also with the holiday season. This is a time of year where a lot of people, not only this time of year, but a lot of people start thinking more about giving back and want to make an impact and change a girl's life. And I'm happy to help you do that. So check it out at girlspositivityclub.org, and you can find it on socials and everything. Just look for the donate button or where it says 1,000 Girl Project in our menu on our website. So, getting back to the holidays, we are talking about that time of year that can be stressful for different reasons. So, I also want to preface it with that kids love the holidays normally. And there can be some mixed feelings about it. And so some people love the holidays all the time, and other people, it can feel very stressful at times. And then there are moments that they love. So this can be you, and it can also be the girls in your life. So the holidays can be super exciting, but they also can come with a whirlwind of activities that can leave girls feeling overwhelmed. I've talked to a lot of girls over the holiday seasons, and I've been through a lot of holiday seasons with girls. And, they get excited about the decorating, and that's super fun to do traditions. to do certain like cooking traditions together is really fun for them, to go shopping, to create things for family. Like those are all really positive things, and going places, going to family gatherings. And it can also at the same time be a time where they have a lot of projects that are ending and the end of a semester, and they can have extra after school activities, or they can have programs that are related to their after school activities, especially if this is like a music activity that they go to. Maybe they're in a band, or maybe they are in choir, or maybe they're in a school play that only is around this certain time of year. Or maybe it's, your church or some kind of a community, something that you do at this time of year. So that can add more to the schedule. And then family gatherings, scheduling family gatherings, having more, places that you have to go. Some of them are out of town, some of them are local, most of them are on the weekends, which then can cut into their own personal time, and that decompression that we all need, and everything in between. So it all adds up, and sometimes there's very little time to rest. And for some, the holidays can even bring additional stress, especially if you've lost someone, someone's passed away who's close to you. And you can, things can be heightened emotionally at this time of year as well. I know some girls who have lost grandparents, who have lost parents, and it can add an extra layer of emotional stress, or just have you feeling like you're trying to figure out how to celebrate when you're still sad. So one girl shared with me, how she loves the holidays, and, this is related to activities, but she loves the holidays, but her calendar is full. She likes to be busy, but then she also has a lot of projects that come up at the end of the semester, and she's in the school play and just extra things that she loves, but it can really pile on to her also feeling like she has to get everything done school wise as well. And that she can get so busy that she doesn't really have time to enjoy everything. And I think a lot of us as parents can relate to that too. It's like sometimes we're so busy that we want to enjoy it. We want to be in the moment and where our feet are, but we're so busy thinking about the next thing or making sure everything is a certain way, especially if you're the host or hostess of the party. Or like in charge of getting the gifts or in charge of a certain thing, taking care of everyone else. It can feel like you're not really pausing to enjoy either. And your daughter can feel that way too, or the girls in your life can feel that way too. And so, another girl mentioned that her dad passed away when she was young. And even though it's happened a long time ago, she still misses him. And she has some memories of when she was little, but he did pass away of a sickness. And it's hard for her this time of year to know that she doesn't have a dad around. Or, I talk to girls who miss their grandparents, especially those who have older grandparents. And maybe it was an unexpected thing, like with my dad, where he seemed so healthy and he was so full of life and so positive. And then we unexpectedly found out that he had a brain tumor. And although he fought it for 2 years, I mean, it was really a different feeling at the holidays, especially right after he passed, where it can just bring up a lot of different feelings. And I think for me too, even though it's been 7 years now, it still hurts. And it's still, there are times where you think of traditions you used to do with them where you really miss them. And so the girls can feel this as well. And there's everything in between, and there's also lots of positives to the holidays. But if we're talking about holiday stress and how to manage it in good ways and how to teach our daughters how to do that, then, these are some of the things that can come up. And emotions can also be heightened at this time of year, where friendship dynamics can switch and change. And we talked about that in the last week's episode. Is there are some changes that can happen in friendships, and maybe they're busy doing traditions with other friends, or there's not time for friends, so you start to lose connection a little bit, where maybe your daughter and her friends are doing family gatherings all the time. They don't really have a lot of time to spend together. And they have to just think about, like, how can we stay in touch? How can we stay connected during this time? Just like you want to stay connected with your daughter, the girls in your life during this time of year, even though it can be busy and can feel stressful at times. So, does any of this sound familiar to you? And there are lots of different scenarios, but I know that I've talked with enough families that these are common things that come up. And the holidays are meant to be filled with joy, but sometimes it can feel like everything is a little bit chaotic. And so, if you're noticing your daughter starts to feel this way in the holidays, or if you're anticipating it now that she's in more things or she's getting older, um, I can help. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's a helping podcast. So, I already mentioned some common problems with this, and they are overscheduling. So, the holidays are full of exciting activities and traditions, but too many commitments and not enough time for rest. So, that can be one problem for your daughter, the girls in your life, and you even. The second one is emotional fatigue. So, this can be that the holidays bring up emotions related to family issues. Especially, I'm from a divorced family, a very healthy divorced family, but even when I was growing up, it's a different family dynamic. Like when I would see my dad for Christmas and when we would celebrate, it would be later or before the holidays or when it would be, and then his side of the family, and then my mom and stepdad's side of the family. So there's a lot of navigating of those types of details as well. If you're from a family that is a divorced family, or if you have a blended family, however that looks for you. It could also be grief, like I mentioned. If your daughter has had or you have had a death in the family and that's affecting the holidays, or even just a change in routine. So this could be just your routine is different because you have a lot going on and there are extra commitments, there are extra things to do. And so that can create this emotional fatigue as well. And then the lack of downtime. So girls don't often have time to recharge during this time when it's really busy like this. And this can leave them mentally and emotionally drained. And then holiday expectations. So there's pressure to make everything perfect sometimes, especially is true if you have a perfectionistic daughter. She has perfectionism tendencies, or if you do, where you're wanting things to be a certain way, and it can be really hard when it doesn't go the way you expect. And it can feel like a letdown. Or if a family gathering wasn't what you expected, maybe there ends up being arguing, or maybe it's kind of boring, or maybe it's the people didn't show up who were supposed to, and those were the ones you were looking forward to. So however that looks for your daughter, can lead to stress, or can lead sometimes to overwhelm of remembering everything, getting everything done, and being, especially if she wants to hang out with different friends during the holidays, and being everywhere and all these different places for holiday gatherings as well. So, here's what you can do. Here are some tips that I think will be helpful. They are not the only things to do, but these are 6 tips that I think would be relevant and would be something that you could try with your daughter, yourself, or a combination. So, the first one is, we've talked about this before, but it is really important, and that is to help prioritize and set boundaries. So help your daughter understand, even at an early age, that it's okay to say no to some things that to make room for what's more important. So does she need to really go to every single thing, or does she need to get every person in her classroom something? Now that's generous, but I'm just giving it as an example, as like it could feel overwhelming, and what to prioritize. Um, and this could be scheduling, thinking about her schedule. Does she really need to go to that voluntary practice if she's already super busy? And really just prioritizing things she enjoys most, or the things that are the most necessary, and helping her do that. So it could even be looking ahead at the calendar and saying no to some things that are optional that she may enjoy, but maybe she doesn't have to do those things, those little things. Um, And you could say something like, let's talk about what's important to you this season. Like, what would you really like to do? What are some traditions you want to make sure that you do? So maybe your daughter loves to bake holiday cookies. Maybe that's something that she really enjoys doing with you or with extended family. Or maybe it's stressful for her. Like maybe she doesn't really enjoy that, but she really does enjoy doing other types of traditions. So it's okay to say no to some things to make space for what really matters to her. And then obviously what's important to your family and compromising and coming up with things that are a family requirement, but maybe some of those things could be optional for her, especially if she is very overscheduled or she's feeling kind of overwhelmed by all the things, all the family gatherings, or all of, especially if you have a big family, or all of the school activities on top of everything else. So it's thinking about that instead. And to get back to the gift giving, because I know I threw that in there, if she wants to give to everyone in her class a little something, that's super generous. But I was thinking if it's causing her overwhelm, to maybe then privately outside of school just give a couple of gifts to her close friends instead of feeling obligated to do something for every person, even though that's a super generous thing to do. And if she wants to do that, that's very kind. But it's also something that she can decide, like, is this a priority, or is this something that is going to bring me a lot of joy because I love giving, or is it something I'm doing out of obligation because of whatever reason. So I just wanted to preface that and come back to that statement that I made, because giving is so good, and it's always good to teach our girls that. So I just want to make sure that that was clear and that it fit in with what we were talking about. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to make sure that you are carving out quiet time. So, quiet time is really, really important because we want to make sure that she has time to rest and recharge, and so do you. So, this isn't only for your daughter. This isn't only something to do for your kids. This is something I think that we as parents need to remember too. It doesn't have to be a long period. It doesn't have to be, you go and get a mani pedi, although those are amazing. But if you are just setting regular time to rest and recharge and teaching your daughter to do the same, especially with the hustle of the holiday season, that is really, really important. So, ways to do that are to schedule quiet time when your daughter can take a break and do something to calm her mind. So, and restore her. So, for each girl, that's something different. That could be drawing, that could be listening to music, that could be going out in nature, that could be a number of things. Whatever it is that helps her rest and recharge. It could even be scrolling on her phone or watching a movie, watching TV. Now, that's if she's like, just, I know that's really sounds like, oh, well, we're always wanting our girls to get off their phones. But sometimes if they're doing something, I don't know, that just is watching funny videos, or it's just watching a tutorial of something they enjoy doing or something like that. It's not about being obsessive about their phone. And it's not about that only being the thing that helps them recharge. It's also about non screen things that help them recharge too. So I just want to preface that and say that I know that I would be not being realistic if I said that a mindless thing or a recharge thing sometimes can be scrolling, but we just have to teach her that it is not something to use as a crutch, and to be really careful about that, that you have non-digital things that you can do to recharge as well, and that the phone can be draining too. So things like reading, things like journaling, things like listening to music, like I mentioned, going outside, those types of things would be really good choices for that. And even if you want to set a boundary, like it's non phone related or it's not digital, you could say, let's just take 20 minutes tonight. We're all going to put our phones away. We're all going to put our electronics away and just choose to do whatever you want to relax that is not on a screen. And that could be, like I said, reading, drawing, or resting. Sometimes you just want to lay. I used to like to lay with my stuffed animals, and I know girls still like to do that, and play with your pets or play with the pets, whatever that would be for you or for your daughter. That's really important to teach her as well. And especially like after school events or holiday events, your daughter might just feel drained and she might need time when you get home to not get ready for bed right away. Maybe she does go take a shower or a bath, and then she does something that's calming and peaceful after that. Maybe it's, like I said, some of those things that I enjoyed, or even if it's having a warm beverage. Maybe it's a hot cocoa, or maybe it's a tea, whatever that is for her. So that's number two. Number three is for you to model empathy and gratitude. So, helping your daughter focus on the positive by practicing gratitude and empathy. And this doesn't mean that we only do this during the holidays, but especially when holiday expectations aren't met. So, for example, encouraging your daughter to express gratitude every day as a practice, even for small things. So, one thing that I mentioned lots of times in Girls Positivity Club that we do is we do yays. So, a yay is something you're grateful for, a positive, something like that. So, we always say it's like looking for the yay in your day, or it could also be looking for something you're grateful for each day. And it could be, I'm grateful for that it's not gray outside, or I'm thankful that I don't have much homework, or I'm grateful for my friend today who made me smile when I was having a hard day. Whatever that would be, it could even be food, a certain type of food that they're enjoying, things like that. Um, and using this moment to talk about empathy, especially when others around your daughter may be struggling during the holidays. So, teaching her how to pay attention to how other people are feeling during the holidays, and to notice that about her friends and about the people that she is around on a regular basis, and to smile at people. I mean, I think that's a really great way to show empathy to people and kindness. And it's very simple. We all can do it. Um, and you could just say something as simple as, like I said, what's your yay today? Or what are you grateful for today? What are you thankful for today? And both of you doing that at mealtime, at bedtime, and just making that part of your routine is really powerful. And even I think I would not be telling the truth if I said that there weren't times when our girls might be disappointed by a gift that they get from a family member. And even though it's something that maybe she didn't want or maybe already has, I mean, that does happen. It's impossible to know every single thing everyone has. And so it's helping her practice gratitude for other things. Like maybe she goes to a family gathering and she gets another pair of fuzzy socks or another lip gloss or another something that maybe she already had. And yeah, feeling the disappointment, but also knowing that that person was trying to think of her. Um, and thinking then of something that, like, well, what is something you're grateful for when we went there, even if it wasn't perfect, even if it wasn't her favorite place to be. Encouraging her to think about how others also may be struggling, and maybe even them getting the present. It was hard for them maybe to figure out what to get. And I mean, we all know it's the thought that counts, and all of those things, and just to show empathy that at least they thought of you, and it's not even about the gifts anyway. It's about being together and whatever you believe and want to say to her, and just keeping other people in mind, of like noticing how other people feel during those family gatherings, or the hangout time with family, or even in school, or even out in public. You can often tell how people are feeling by the way that their body language is. So just really taking it back to, what are you grateful for? And then how can you be empathetic? How can you feel for other people um, during the holidays, and all the time too, not just during the holidays. So, tip number four then is to encourage her to give back, or to work with her on giving back. This is something that is really, really helpful when there is stress in the holidays, like thinking beyond yourself. And giving back can help really shift that focus from the stress and overwhelm of the holidays to compassion and gratitude. So, thinking about people who may not have as much during the holidays, and maybe during the holidays, it's actually a struggle financially. It's hard for people to have money to buy gifts. Some people are just trying to get by and be able to pay their bills and have things like that. So maybe it's giving to a neighbor that you may know is having a hard time, or someone that you know who might be having a hard time. It might be volunteering together. And again, this could start in the holidays and then it could continue throughout the year. It doesn't have to only be at the holidays, but if it is only at the holidays, at least it's something that you're teaching her to do to give back. So this could be volunteering somewhere. This could be giving back to a charity. This could be picking a nonprofit and picking how much you want to give and knowing what that gift will do. So, like in Girls Positivity Club, we are trying to get 1,000 girls scholarships to be in Girls Positivity Club. And so it could be a monthly gift like we're offering, which is like $45 a month, that would keep a girl in a Girls Positivity Club throughout the whole school year. Or it could be a one-time gift. And, for us, it's $125 for that 8-week session. For others, it might be picking a name off of a wall or like a tree, or of just a place where you can give to a certain person. I know a lot of girls like to shop for other kids that are their age, or other girls that are their age, or you go and, work with your church or your local grocery store where they have names of families who need food for the holidays. And so maybe you're filling a bag at the grocery store and you're picking out groceries that they usually give you like some guidelines, but you're picking those things out for the people, and your daughter's like getting it off the shelf. So whether it's something that's more like a, a donation, a gift for an organization like Girls Positivity Club, or if it's helping animals, or if it is, a food shelter, or if it's going to a local store and noticing their giving campaign, even if it's toys at, the dog store, like a PetSmart or somewhere where you can donate toys to animals that are looking to get adopted or something like that. No matter what it is really helpful. And it's good to teach her that, because when you give in different types of ways, it shows her that there are people out there, or animals, or whoever, who need support. And it really shows that compassion. It really helps her see beyond herself and helps her feel like she's making a difference in the world, whether it's for a person or for an animal or for a cause. That feels really good to know that you had a part in something special and in making the world a better place and better for someone else to live. So, that would be a really great way. Another way to give back is to notice a neighbor in need, maybe an older neighbor who has trouble working in the yard, or it might be that that they've gone through a hard time, and maybe you're baking cookies and you're delivering it to neighbors, something like that. So anything that's a give back is going to really help her have that compassion, teach her just the value of giving, and how it's really modeling giving back and why that's important in your life. And then number 5 is creating a family connection routine. So having a way that you can be grounded, be supported together, spend quality time together, can provide emotional support and can also reduce stress. This can be as simple as each week just setting aside like 20 minutes where you guys are, again, a screen free time where you're connecting in some way. Even if it's watching a holiday movie together, that's still a screen, but you're connecting, and maybe you're having popcorn or snacks together without phones in hands. Or it is maybe a family game night on the weekend, or maybe it's going and looking at the lights, or maybe it is a number of things. Maybe it's having a snowball fight if you have snow. Maybe it is anything, really, baking cookies together. Maybe it's just making a meal together. Whatever that is, it's having a short connection time each week. And that really is establishing that routine that could last throughout the year. Maybe it's going shopping together if you enjoy that as a family. Maybe it is just really finding a way that you all enjoy unwinding and reconnecting together and support each other in that way, and also bring you closer as a family. And then the bonus tip is encouraging reflection and what she can control. So focusing on what she can control, like her reactions to stress, while letting go of things that she can't control. So it's teaching her that while she can't control holiday chaos and stress at times, she can control how she reacts and she can decide what she needs in that moment. And she can manage her time, more effectively. And you can help her with that. Like, okay, let's look at the week ahead. Where will we need breaks? Where will we need to really focus and get these things done? How can I help support you in that? And maybe she could also do the same for you. Like where you need a little extra help during a week, and it's okay for you too to ask for that. So it's all about really what can I control? Controlling the controllables. What can I control? And how do I make a plan so that when some of these things might happen, I have positive things that I can do. So that's what you're giving her, and you're brainstorming what that means for her. So whether this is about school assignments piling up and her needing time to step away, whether it is having a lot of holiday activities and her just needing, you know, something different to do that is not as high pressure or not around as many people, especially if she's an introvert. She might just need some alone time after being around so many people, whatever that would be. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have other ideas that would help your daughter and you, or some things that you've tried that have helped your daughter and you manage stress during the holidays, I would love to hear from you at Girls Positivity Club. And until next time, keep raising those confident girls. And the holidays can be really great and magical. And there are ways to control the stress. And I hope that this helped you. So I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.